Today we will start our work regarding the dry dock. So the first lesson is dry dock. Describe the necessary measures to be taken by the ship's craft in preparation of the dry dock of a ship. So for to go for the dry dock, first of all we have to understand why this is performed. So dry dock is very important aspect for the ship, and ship crew play a very important role in it. Purpose of the dry dock: to inspect the underwater parts, so that our ship underwater is always in the water. So purpose of the dry dock is to be inspected and to see any fault, any defect in it, and to carry out underwater repair. So if there is any damage, we can carry out the repair, and to comply with classification society requirement. So every classification society requires ship to go to dry dock every 2.5 years. So these are the three purposes of the dry dock. Then what is the scope of the dry dock? Scope of the dry dock is should be done every 2.5 years period. Then maximum interval should not exceed more than 3 years between two dry docking, and two dry docking within 5 years period. One docking has to be continued with special survey. So these are the requirements for the scope of the dry dock. Inspection and survey items. What normally we do during the dry dock is underwater hull. We make inspection of the underwater hull, the bottom sides, the sides, and the verticals. It is mostly submerged in water. So rudder and propeller. So we do work on rudder and propeller. That is rudder pressure test, propeller crack test, its blades, and the tail shaft clearances, and the rudder and pintle bearing clearances. Then stern tube seal tail shaft. Normally the stern tube tail shaft is taken out and the seals are inspected and sometimes renewed. Sea chest grating. So sea chest grating where our sea chest taking section for the seawater, and seawater for engine room or the in the pump room. These gratings we need to clean. We need clean and inspect. C-section valves, overboard valves, anchor chains, bow thruster, ICCP system, anode speed lock, eco sounders, and ICCP. These are all has to be inspected, and it is normally in operation. In normal circumstances, we cannot do that. So in the during the period, we do this all. So in this inspection and survey items, underwater hull, we normally inspect all the part of the hull, and underwater plugs are there. So the tank plugs are checked, and rudder and propeller. I already explained stern tube shaft seal, seal chest grating, C chest grating, C section valves. C section valves are those valves which are normally coming to the sea chest. We cannot open them at sea. So when dry dock is performed, these valves are opened and inspected, and if required, we renew them. Then overboard valves. Overboard valves are those valves which are going overboard from the ship, like boiler overboard valve, sewage overboard valve, grey water overboard valve, OWS overboard valves, and seawater overboard valves. These valves also we cannot open at sea. So when dry dock, these valves are lists are made, spare parts are requested, and these valves are inspected and repaired accordingly, or replaced if required. Overboard valves, C-section valves, anchor and chain cables. Anchor and chain, both the anchors are dropped down together with the chain, and non-destructive tests are carried out, so that the all chain and its every link is intact. All shackles are inspected. If all good, if anchor is good, it is washed clean. Test is non-destructive tests are made, and then these are put back, or the defective parts are renewed. Bow thruster, if bow thruster is fitted, that is inspected. Then ICCP system, uh, impressed current cathodic protection system. This is the one which gives cathodic protection to the ship hull. This is inspected and also service. Normally, service is provided by the service provider teams. So this is done by the shore staff. Their team come, they do calibration and everything they do, and then they give the report. Or if they see any fault, they recommend the spare part or services required. Then the anodes. We have anodes outside the ship, so all the anodes are replaced with the new ones. Speed log echo sounder. There's those parts which are fitted within the water underneath. So speed log and echo sounders, they are inspected and repair if required as required. CPP, if ship is fitted with CPP, controllable pitch propeller, it is also checked and inspected. Then repair specification to be prepared by ship staff. General services. So some jobs we do by the ship staff and some is done by the shore staff. Then there's repair specification to be carried out by ship staff. General service. So ship staff will prepare for shore power supply. So we will prepare the what is our specification of the vessel, like 440 volt, 220 volts, and how many hertz frequency we need. So we give all the specification to the yard so that they will give us shore supply. Normally we have two ways. One way is we give yard, we take power from them. Second way is also there that sometimes we continue one generator keep running and we take only the LT water from yard. Seawater hose connection we take and we use in the LT coolers. So our LT cooler can cool the jacket water for auxiliary engine, so the shore power is not required. We run one generator and we make power ourselves for the ship. Skilled and unskilled labor. We need skilled and unskilled labor from the yard. Then seawater and freshwater supply. These two supplies we take from the yard. Seawater is for the air con and the reefer system, and freshwater for the general domestic use. Then shore sewage and garbage disposal. We take services from the shore regarding the sewage, our vessel using the toilets. So we take from them connection so that sewage go to the designated place. And the garbage disposal. How we dispose garbage, we take service from the yard. Underwater repair. Number of sea chest and overboard walls and their specification and location. We collect this data, that what is location of our sea chest and overboard walls, and give to the yard. Number of anodes to be replaced and their position according to drawing. So we have the vessel drawing where it is mentioned that how many anodes and fitted and where they are fitted. Normally we make requisition for that, and then later on we use this requisition. When they come, we give to yard to fit. Job specification for rudder, propeller and tail shaft. So the vessel or and the superintendent chief engineer, they prepare the job scope for rudder, what we want to do, propeller and the tail shaft. As we explained, rudder pressure test is carried out and its pintle bearing clearances, jumping clearance is measured, and then propeller defects and propeller is inspected for any damage, rope guard is inspected, and tail shaft is removed, seals are inspected and replaced as required. So these are the jobs, but in the detail we will discuss rudder and propellers, what we do. That is the separate chapter. Necessary drawing to send to the dry dock. So we prepare the drawings to be sent to the dry dock for so that they know our ship. So we give them all the drawings, all the specifications. Hull cleaning and painting. Hull cleaning and painting area to be calculated. Normally it is 100%. Yard push for more area to be cleaned, but the superintendent or the chief engineer press for the less area, so the cost become less and affordable. Depends on what is the condition of the hull. Normally, they are asking 50% is dirty, we have to clean. We tell them no, 20% is dirty, so around 30-35% we deal, so they charge according to that. So all the hull they clean, but major parts when they clean, like sea growth is there and so much bad condition, so they charge more for this area. So they decide percentage for this. Requirement for cleaning and painting procedure. Then there are the different paints available in the market. So every vessel have a yard provided paint scheme. So we provide that one to the yard, and also the last trade of paint scheme. So from that, they decide what paints are approved, what paints we can use. Then the paint maker is decided who is giving less quotation, better quality. So that one is decided and hull is painted. Nowadays, silicone paint is also some good companies offering silicone paints. So that is also long life and hull have become less dirty. Mechanical repair. Name of the job, manufacturing detail, spare part requirement, drawing of the specific job. For example, we are to do some job from the yard or the from any team related to which will come to the yard and do the job. So we give them job, then we give them nameplate of the manufacturer detail who is maker. Especially nameplate is the birth certificate of any equipment. So normally we give them manual book together with the nameplate. So they come to know that what is exactly our equipment is. Then spare part requirement, we tell them that okay, they give us the quotation for the spare parts, then the vessel normally buy itself. That is much cheaper. If we ask them to bring, they charge more. So normally they tell us that how much we need spare parts. So we request ourselves company buy. So when the services are coming, spare parts are ready. So they can do the job and using our spare parts. Drawing for the specific jobs. So we give them nameplate and drawings. Okay, pipeline repairs. Pipeline repair, we give them like some section is damaged. We give them length, size, material, and number of pipes. How much we need, and roughly there we give them drawing, so they estimate the cost, and later on they repair accordingly. Drawing of renewal pipe should be sent to Redo. If any valve to be replaced, the specification of valve to be mentioned. So if any valves we need to replace, then we have to mention, we have to tell them all the information. The idea is that ship staff normally thinking they know, but they don't know your ship. You know your ship. So we as a seafarer, we provide them all the data so that they should know our vessel and they bring the stuff according to our requirement. Steel renewal. Steel renewal, uh, length, breadth, thickness, and material, position of the damaged area. Some old ships are steel is so weak, so some section surveyor come, he make the test, thickness test of the hull and the different ballast tanks, the cargo tanks, and then they decide that this area has to be replaced. Then those areas is given to the yard people. So the specialists they cut and then they fix new plate. Then the surveyor come, he inspect, is all satisfied, then he gives certificate. Dock navigation, electrical equipment. Navigation electrical equipment, name of the part, manufacturer detail, description of the job. Similarly, if we giving them the job regarding to electrical equipment navigational, we give them all this data. Additional preparation. Report of last dry dock to be checked. Last dry dock reports are to be studied. Inventory of spare part to be checked. How much inventory we have and how much we need. We give them requisition. Inventory of pipe, bend, flanges, and valves to be checked. CMS item to be identified to dry dock. Continue machinery survey. This is the machinery survey program for every 5 years, so that all the machineries are checked and inspected by class surveyor. Some items are can be done by chief engineer, and some items must be done by dockyard. Must be witnessed by class. So the items are to be identified for dry dock. So we go through the CMS, what is coming due, then we prepare accordingly. If chief engineer, he has to make report, sign, stamp, so present to the class surveyor, and he credit it so that he extend the date for next survey. And some items they do themselves, like main engine, for example, main engine main bearings. They want us to dismantle one of them, and one of condition accordingly, he credit all six. So normally they do like that. Identification of defects and defect list to be made. So we normally make a defect list, but jobs we cannot do at sea. Then they during the dry dock, these are to be rectified. Requirement of specialized jobs or equipment to be sent to office. Jobs to be done by ship staff and dry dock to be made in conjunction with superintendent. So superintendent and the vessel decide what jobs are to be done by the ship staff and what jobs are to be located to the yard. Jobs scheduled to be prepared to ensure satisfactory completion within dry dock period. So all the things are to be planned, and then maintain safety, readiness of safety equipment and gears. All safety is responsibilities of the ship staff. So ship staff has to ensure that everybody wearing proper safety equipment and working as per safe standards. Arrange and attend in daily safety meetings. So daily safety meetings are made in the morning. So job also discussed. Arrange the fire patrols. The watchkeeper in the engine room and the deck staff, they should check the fire hazard for the job. So this is our first lesson regarding the dry dock theoretical. Then describe necessary measures to be taken by ship crew. Preparation of a safe dry dock. So here I conclude this video. Next we will continue with the next thing. Thank you.